Hey, it's your girl Helena J. Welcome to another episode of Couch Chronicles. I'm here with two amazing Asian American women thrive in our 30s. That is what they represent. We have Miss Christina Lee and we have Miss Anna Tran. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
How are you guys feeling today?
You know, we are feeling really, really good.
I love it. You look amazing.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you.
All of us, right? We try, yeah.
I am super excited to have you guys here as a part of the Millennial Group, right? Your Thrive in Our 30s podcast, channel, Instagram, everything is doing so very well right now. So we got to share with the people out there, those folks that need to listen in, figure out why you guys are doing what you're doing and what's been so successful up until this point. So I have a few questions, okay? So we will start with, what is your women's empowerment brunch?
Ooh, that's a good brunch that we're having. Do you want to talk more about it?
So our Women Empowerment Brunch, it is a brunch that we're having, and it is actually coming up very soon, March 17th. And it's our first time hosting an amazing panel of women. And I guess the mission behind it is to bring awareness of what's happening in the financial world right now, and also making sure that women are helping each other out, supporting each other, giving each other resources, things like that, because historically, when you take a look at money and women, we started 50 years later than men, right? Yeah. And for a lot of women, they have a very bad relationship with money.
Yes.
Yeah. Right? And a lot of women have been trained to depend on somebody else, right? And because of that, we want to make sure that, hey, it doesn't have to be that way.
Okay.
So when we empower each other, like empowered women empower women, right?
That's right.
So when we have this brunch, we just wanted to create a space where we're able to not only provide resources, but also bring that awareness so that other women know what's going on right now.
I love it. So can we get a little sneak preview of who's going to be on the panel?
So for us, the our mission really is to focus on building wealth, protecting wealth, and preserving wealth.
Awesome.
So we have women from, we have individuals who are successful real estate brokers and also investors. We have very successful investors. We have individuals who did a lot of community work, civil rights, women's rights in the Seattle area for many decades, right? So we have individuals like that. We have a female CEO, right? We have female executive vice chairwoman. So we have a lot of very powerful women who have successfully built organizations. They've successfully built companies, and you know, hearing their stories and you know what they had to really go through to get there, I think that's something where we're all looking forward to.
Yeah.
So y'all better get in the room.
Yes.
Just making sure you know that.
Better go register right now.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm very excited about being there as well. So my next question is, tell us a little bit about why you want to bring so many millennial people into the industry, this financial industry that we're a part of.
I think for us, it's so important to have that message out there, especially for us millennials, right? For me, I was never taught about money, at all. And I was raised by my grandparents and immigrants. So they're from Vietnam. So being raised by them, I didn't know how to save. Like, it's just saving, but then I'll be spending. And it's just so important because then I started having conversation like retirement. You know, what am I going to do with my savings? Do I buy a house? Do I do this? What's a CD? What's all of this?
Millennials talk about retirement?
You know, I guess me. I guess this is where I'm different. I'm an old soul. So then I started having conversation with my friends, right? And none of them cared. And that was where it clicked to me. And I don't know if you know this, Helena. Christina and I, we've been friends since we were like, what?
Middle school?
Middle school.
Like yesterday?
Like, yeah. You know, that's the word. But we've been friends and we never had like a conversation on money. So then this past couple of years, we started talking about it. We're like, how come we're not bringing this message out to Seattle to millennials? Why are we not doing this? Why are we not spreading what we're learning out there to our friends, to our community? And every time that we talk to another millennial, they're like, I never thought about a 401k. I never thought, what is wrong with it? Like, what do we need to do if we get laid off? You know, those are hard conversations that I feel like is so important to be an everyday conversation. conversation.
That's very interesting. As best friends, you never broach the money conversation.
Well, I think it's also
That's
because
interesting.
we grew up very poor.
Yes.
Like I remember, like we would go. So we also did cheer together in high
Okay.
school,
Yeah.
right? And during, like after football games, everyone wants to go to Red Robin, but we couldn't afford to buy a burger for ourselves. So
Wow.
it was me, Anna, and our other friend.
Yeah.
We split a
This
burger because
Wow.
it's unlimited
Yeah.
fries.
Yeah.
That part, I was about to throw that in there. I love me some bottomless fries.
And I think at one point the server was like, "You guys are on your 10th stop. Like you're cut off."
Resourceful.
Yeah.
Very resourceful. But I mean, because of that, we just never had an opportunity to really talk about like building wealth because we were so concerned about not being in the red. How do we, I have like negative in my bank account.
Yeah.
How do we get back to
One step at a time.
Exactly,
Understood.
Mhm. And we were never taught about building wealth. Really, it was just more like just work hard, go to school, work hard, and then you'll get a job.
Yep.
That's
That was
really
it.
what we were taught.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing that for us, the reason why it's important to bring financial literacy, financial awareness to millennials is because so there's this great wealth transfer happening where baby boomers are going to be passing their assets, their wealth to millennials.
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
But the issue is we're not taught on how to manage money.
Yeah.
Right. And even if it's not like trillions of dollars that one person is, it might be like $100,000,
Yeah.
right? But what are we gonna do with it if our parents or grandparents leave us $100,000? We're gonna spend it.
It doesn't matter what it is. That's their wealth,
Yeah.
right? So you got to figure out what to do with that.
Mhm. And the reason why for us, like what we're realizing is because there's no financial education there, we don't know what to do with the money. Our mindset isn't, okay, I can take this 100K and I can make that into $1 million. We don't think that way because we don't know how to do that, right? But we're very good at spending money. So that's why we wanted to at least bring the awareness or bring the information on the financial literacy. How do you manage your money better?
Yeah.
So that we're able to actually take care of the wealth that our parents, our grandparents are going to be, passing on to us.
Absolutely.
We're actually making sure it goes to the next generation.
Yes, that
And
is
doesn't
cool.
get used in like 10 seconds,
Exactly.
right? Understood.
Yep.
Understood.
Yeah.
I totally understand that coming from a past educator's, standpoint, right? I taught math, right? You all know that. High school and college math. So I know we do not talk about money. So understanding that every generation, that every, ethnic background has to start having this conversation. And the fact that, Thrive in Our 30s is making that a main thing. I absolutely love that. So question for you guys. What is your viewpoint on closing the wealth gap for the millennials, for your ethnicity, for your culture? What are your viewpoints on that?
Well, I guess I can talk a little bit about it. Maybe Anna could add on. For millennials, I think because like how I mentioned earlier, we don't have the financial backing or financial literacy to help us really understand what to do. I think for us, it's very important to provide that information to close that gap.
Yeah.
Right? That's one of the ways that we can get there. If we don't do, nowadays with social media, I know a lot of people are curious.
Yes.
They're asking
TikTok
about
finance
TikTok, IG and all that stuff, which is great. At the same time, it could be too much information.
Yeah.
People can get inundated with too much and then they get confused. Right? So I think making sure that not only are you aware of this information, but then how do you apply that to yourself?
Absolutely.
Right? What can you do differently? How can you make sure that you not only build wealth, but how do you protect it and preserve it? I think that's something where we really want to close the gap on making sure that millennials understand how to do that.
I tell people all the time that knowledge without power education is nothing, right? You have to have the information and learn to implement strategies in order to make that information powerful. So like you said, you got to teach the people.
Yep.
You got to make sure that you can show them what they need to do in order to make some of these things happen better for themselves, right?
Yeah.
So that's very, very important. You're not just leaving it at, okay, let's teach them and walk away.
Right.
But being able to spend time with people to, bring them together, implement the strategies necessary. So that's very important.
And for us, since we're Asian, and our family, they're all immigrants, right? So it's a different type of a mindset that we were raised with, especially as it relates to money.
Yeah.
Parents are very dependent on their children,
Yes.
for example, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You know?
You have to
Yeah,
work
and
for
very-
yourself. You have to work for your parents.
Yeah.
You want to have children. You got to work there as well. So
Yeah, and that's like another thing too. Going off with that, like my my mom, I'm her retirement.
Yes.
And when she came here, she came in her late 30s. Like, so she still doesn't know how to speak fluent English, and it's hard to get a job, and what she's known for is cooking, like Vietnamese food, and that's it. And that's all
When am I getting my invite?
Oh.
I love some good Vietnamese
come
food.
over, girl.
Asian cuisine is like a top 2 for me, so you just gotta let me know.
And that's the thing. Like, I was never like seeing my mom work so hard. Of course, I'm grinding. I'm like, I have to work hard. I have to be able to pay the bills because I don't want to end up, struggling like that. And that goes into my why. And that's like the reason why we're here. We're here to fill in that gap because we know that there's so many people that are like us but just doesn't know what to do with it.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add something too. Like, one thing that I see as a commonality for a lot of children of immigrants, right? Second generation, is that because parents depend on us, right? We've seen them work so hard. But if there's no payout from working hard, there's a lot of regret.
Yes.
So even like for a Korean parent, it's like, oh, I should have, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
Right? My life would have been different if this didn't happen, or I could have done that, I should have done that, right? And it's a burden really that they don't know that they're placing on their children. Because at the same time, it's like, who would want their parents to live like that, and a life of regret? You should be enjoying your golden times, your retirement, not regretting how you lived your life.
For sure.
And then they put that onto the children
unintentionally, but
unintentionally,
absolutely.
Right? So it's not only a financial, I hate saying this, but it is a burden.
It is.
Right? But it's also an emotional and a mental burden that's being placed on children. But I think it all goes back to financial literacy.
Yes.
Because if our parents knew what to do with money, not just make money, but how do you protect that, preserve that, then they wouldn't be in a financial situation that they are in right now, because they work so hard. They sacrifice so much. Right? But it was just that they didn't know what to do with the money.
Wow. So you out here changing the world.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
One person at a time.
One podcast at a time.
One podcast at a time.
So tell us, speaking of that, what are your goals for Thrive in Our 30s for 2024? What do you see happening for everybody that you're out there hoping to touch?
Wow.
We really are thankful that we have a podcast. It's like a platform, really.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And for us, it's very important that when we speak with individuals, it's a platform where we can influence someone else, maybe open up a space for them to talk about certain things.
Important. So important.
Like it's not easy talking about money. It's not easy talking about mental health. Parents being a burden to you. These are certain things that is very common, but people just don't know.
Taboo.
Right. They don't want to talk about it.
So
for us, it's very important that since we do have this platform, how can we start a conversation? Maybe someone can listen in and they'll be encouraged to open up themselves. Take on that courageous step on, okay, maybe I need to take a look at my finances. Maybe I need to have this conversation with my parents. Hey, do you have something that's in place so that the burden's not on me financially, emotionally, mentally? Because I don't want that for my kids. I want to make that change, and let's end that here. But it's hard to have that conversation. But if we're able to utilize a podcast, a platform to initiate that, I would love that. You know,
I love it. Just paving the way for all the millennials. I love it. You have anything to add to that?
You know what? I think she's spot on.
I love it.
Spot on. But
you guys finishing each other's sentences.
literally, that was like all my thoughts there. But no, that is really our goal, is that we want this platform to be a space where hard conversations are going to be talked about, like in the car, with parents, with friends. Like, this is just a space where everyone can make it a normal thing, like financial literacy, a normal conversation.
That would just change the world, honestly. What would you say to the Asian American out there looking to get into this industry that may have some questions? What would you say to them?
I would say, just do it.
That's right.
And the thing is if you don't jump now, you'll never jump. And if you're in this comfortable state in life and you're always, gonna ask like, what if, what coulda, woulda, shoulda kind of thing, you're gonna regret not doing it, not taking that jump and just learning. Like, that's the thing. Like, life is just so short that you shouldn't be wasting time.
I would even say, like, what's the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah, honestly.
Right?
Honestly.
The worst thing that can happen is you know a little bit more about money. You can teach your kids about money, your family and friends.
Each one teach one.
Yeah. That's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, you have additional income streams.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with that.
I love that. That is one thing the millennials like. That much I do know.
Right. So, I mean, like, why not? Why not start?
I love that. All right, so another question for you ladies. Tell us all out there where we can find your podcast, because it sounds like an amazing platform. Tell us where we can find you.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts.
That's
Thriving Our 30s. Yes.
Thriving Our 30s on Apple Podcasts.
It's not only for 30-year-olds, it's for everyone.
I would love to be 30 again, but I'm also listening to it. I am not.
And maybe we can even put the link of our show onto the comment section.
Absolutely.
Below. So you're able to tune in.
Make sure. Thank you so much. I love that. Well, everyone out there, it has been another episode of Couch Chronicles with your girl, Helena J, and the amazing, amazing Anna Tran and Christina Lee. Make sure you guys register for the Women's Empowerment Brunch, March 17th. You said yes?
March 17th.
All right, we'll show you where to find them. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye.